call the meeting to order. Jason, would you do that?
Let's pray. Dear gracious Father, we thank you for the blessings you give us each and every day. Lord, we thank you for everyone that's here today. Lord, watch over us and guide us, Lord, keep us healthy and safe, Lord. And Lord, I pray for each one here, Lord. I thank you for the bread that you gave us, Lord. Waking us up this morning, Lord. Thank you for the blessings you give us, Lord. Watch over us and guide us, Lord, as we got through the community. Watch over the community, Lord. I pray for each one, Lord. Precious and holy name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Okay, we're gonna read the minutes of the last meeting.
This is the minutes of the last meeting. The meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. with the opening prayer by Jason Cook. Calls to date was 113. The meeting was on 2/23 of 26. The budget was discussed. There was money donated by someone who wished to remain silent. And then the status of the property, which is the community building. $10,000 was spent on the property in 2 years. Someone went to the zoning board to try and stop the sale of the property. Bill Beatonhead was recognized as our guest that night during our meeting. Guest said that the chief had explained everything he came in to see what growth had taken place within the department. We had 11.5% property tax. Then we went up to 13.68. That was from June to July, and January through December was our budget, which this is the budget. Chief Poovey asked the board for a paper call while off duty at the department. The motion for the vote, Daphne Poovey was the first person. The second motion was Jason Cook, unanimously approved by the board. Closing prayer was with Jason Cook. The next meeting will start quarterly meetings April the 27th of 2026. All in favor of the minutes as read?
Motion to
I make a
accept.
motion to be approved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
So, my name's Gaines Bowers. Daphne asked me to fill in tonight to capture the minutes of this meeting. I'll do that and help facilitate the discussion. If there's any questions or comments, I'll yield to our chairman, Mr. John B. So with that, old business? Any old business? Hearing no old business, Mr. Chairman, we will open the floor for new business. Any new business come before the board? David, you got any discussion associated with the department that we need to address?
So tonight, what we would like to do is discuss some rumors, try to get some transparency, try to squash false rumors and false information. There's a lot of stuff being posted and said and everything else that is 100% not true, and I'm not even sure where it's coming from. Some of it's wild.
So David, let me interrupt and ask, can everybody hear in the back there okay?
We hear this thing here, but we can't hear what he's saying.
David, we're gonna have to make sure everybody can hear. If you maybe wanna stand up or get a loudspeaker or something.
See if we can turn that thing off for one.
And I'm secretary of the board, Daphne Poovey, and we're glad to see you all here. I wish we'd have got to see a lot of you here when we had the annual meeting that nobody showed up for. It's always posted out front of the building.
But anyways, like I was saying, we wanted to invite y'all out here tonight to try to squash rumors, and if anybody had any questions, to get the correct information on it, not what you read online. Some of it's true, some of it is definitely not true. So that's why I wanted everybody to come tonight, so they can know what's going on. We have an annual meeting every year. And the annual meeting is for nights like tonight with everybody here. We want y'all to come. At that annual meeting, that's when we discuss everything that has gotten so far behind that nobody knows what's going on because it's gotten so far behind. The people coming to the meetings and everything else. So that's why we have that annual meeting. And please, next year, or this year when we have it, please come. Ask your questions. Get your information. That's where our transparency is. But I know there's a budget increase, but there's reasonings behind the budget increase. At every meeting that would have been discussed as why. What was the purposes of it? What was the increases? There it goes. But I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that what we try to do for this fire department and for the communities, in our minds, and this is everybody's opinion, in our minds is what we think is best for the communities and the people. For safety and response and anything at y'all's worst time of need. That's why we operate the way we do. We went from being a 100% volunteer station, nobody got paid, to one person getting paid and the chief getting paid. We went from that to staffing just during the day, one person. Then we went from staffing one person during the day and one person at night. We went from that and got to realizing, well, if you got a driver, you need a firefighter or an EMT. So we started staffing 2 during the day and 1 at night. That was working out pretty good. Then we started coming to some instances to where manpower was becoming an issue, and it wasn't just for here. It's manpower is an issue anywhere you go. If you don't live in this if you live in this fire district and your neighbor doesn't, they should get the same amount of response as what you do. So by that being said, then we decided to do 2 and 2. 2 during the day, 2 at night. We do that Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday we work 1 during the day and 2 at night, because our people aren't typically at work on the weekends. Every bit of this is based because back in the day, everybody around here either worked at the hardware, they had farms and stuff like that, and they could leave their jobs to run calls. Those days are over. These jobs will not let people leave their jobs to run these fire calls. So that's why we had to do an increase in staffing. Also, and we'll get into some questions too, another rumor I'd seen was the amount of money being spent. Well, I will tell you, when we came in 4 years ago, this station was so far behind, it could not operate. It did not have enough turnout gear, did not have enough hoses on the truck, of course. That breathing air machine they're standing against right there, we did not have a way to fill our SCBA bottles, which is our air bottles, if we had a call. So if that call happened in the middle of the night or late at night, we couldn't go to another fire department to fill them up. The only time we had that luxury was during the day. There were times that we would have a fire at night, come back into the station, and then we don't have air in our bottles to fight another fire if we had to. That's why everything was so far behind. And the transparency in all this is we try to do what's best for the station. We try to do what's best for y'all. And that's including spending that money so we have air when we need it. I could sit here and try to guess at everybody's thoughts. That's never going to work. The best thing to do, like I said, in a professional fashion, and we'll try to answer everybody's questions, is we'll just start with the Q&As.
May I get a first thing?
Sure.
I kind of stirred all this up for some reason.
Well, some of your stuff is true. I'm not denying.
Hey, I'm sorry, sir. You spoke up. I didn't get your name. I don't know you. I'm sorry. Okay, Mr. Hefner, thank you.
So, speaking of that, I'd like for all the board members to introduce themselves and tell me where you live.
I ain't never lived at one place, Willie, you know that. Danny Downer.
Yep, but a lot of people don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Howard Elmore, I live on St. Mark's Church Road, just inside of Gaston County.
And me and Howard served on this board many, many years ago.
Years ago.
We sure did. Back in the 90s.
90s.
Yep, we sure did.
Keith Bowie, I live on Delview Road.
Bellevue Road. Okay.
I'm Ken Davis, I live on Crouse Road.
And I know Ken well. He comes to my house often. Back when Logan was still,
At times,
yeah. Gaines, it's good to see you.
Yes, sir. I'm on Love Memorial School Road.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Mary Ann's doing okay, I guess?
She's holding her own.
Yes. Now, she's a board member, is that right?
She is, but she's sick tonight,
Okay,
unable to attend.
I understand, no problem.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
And I'm
Miss
Jasmine
Toomey?
Cooley.
And you're on the board, right?
Yes, I'm the secretary,
Okay,
and I'm on Delview Road in Cherville.
very good. Okay,
John Bean.
John, good to see you.
Johnstown Road.
Your son used to stay at my house all the time.
Yeah.
It's good to see you. Thank you for serving, I appreciate it. Chuck? Okay. Jason?
Jason Cook, Highway 274.
Yep. And you live or in or out of the district? Out of the district, okay. This one. And you?
Tim Linhart.
Who?
Tim Linhart.
Tim Linhart.
Yep.
Okay,
I live off Whiteside Road.
okay. And you're in the district, right?
Last one in the district.
Huh?
The last one in the district. on
Yeah,
Whiteside.
very good.
Jimmy Laws.
Jimmy, now where do you live?
I live in High Shoals.
In High Shoals, so you're out of the district then?
Correct.
Yep. And Jerry?
Jerry Cook, I live right down the road here, about half a mile.
So I've known Jerry, I've known a lot of you for a long time. And just very seldom see some of you because we just don't visit like we used to. So, but Ms. Boogie, you said that y'all passed a tax increase?
Yes.
And how much was that?
It was,
I've heard of it, that you passed a tax increase, but nobody really.
it was 11.5.
Okay.
And we went to 13.68,
Okay.
and that's within the county.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You
I
know,
got that.
But
So-
it's been years before there's ever been another tax increase.
Yeah.
So
I got it.
therefore, you know, you thinking it's a big jump, but it's not.
Well, let me just ask you another question. I mean, did y'all put that on your sign that you were voting for a tax increase, or did you put it out in the newspaper or anything? I'm just asking questions.
I can answer that. It's been, I guess, roughly about 20 years now that the county commissioners voted and approved a tax increase to 15 cents on the 100 without notice.
I got it, I understand that, but you made a two point something cent tax increase. But you didn't really tell anybody that you were doing it outside of the board, it sounds like. That's my question.
The county did.
According to the county, we didn't have to.
Okay, that's fine. According to the county, you didn't have to, but you didn't make
Right.
any effort to really tell anybody. So that bothers me. I'll just be honest with you. That bugs the heck out of me. I think if we're gonna have tax increases, then something needs to be put on a sign and something needs to be announced that we're getting a tax increase. Let me ask some of you a question. Who knows what revenue neutral means?
The income equals the outgo.
Okay, so you hadn't voted on a tax increase, David, you said what, in 20 years?
The first one was roughly 20 years old.
Okay, and that's fine. But you have had tax increases of income. Anybody else know what revenue neutral is? So when the county does a revaluation, they have to have produced to the commissioners a number called revenue neutral. In other words, if all of the county's taxes are going up, let's just say $15, $20 million because of the revaluation. Well, the commissioners don't have to give those new valuations, they can readjust and reset the tax rate. And it's called, what's the revenue neutral number? The state legislature requires our counties to give out the revenue neutral number. And you say you hadn't had a tax increase, but that's not exactly right. When every 4 years we get revaluations, not evaluations, but revaluations. And every 4 years, you know what happens? What happens to evaluations on your houses? Well, and this fire department, as far as I can investigate and see, didn't make any adjustments to the tax rate. They kept the same tax rate they had. So you got a big increase 4 years ago. You got a big increase 4 years before that. Now, the county made some adjustments. It wasn't as much as what I would have liked, but they made some adjustments. I'll have to go back and look and see exactly what that number was, but above the revenue neutral number, it was probably in the 60-some% range. And I don't want to try to get too much over everybody's head, but my point being, there have been increased revenues coming into this department once it began to get tax revenues. Now, just another thing that I'll ask. How many board members do we have altogether? 14 board members. And how many of those live outside the district? Anybody know?
I think it's 3.
Well, let's see, I was just counting, I counted. Is there any board members here missing? Who's the board member?
My wife's not here, she's a
Yep.
member.
Anybody, any other board members missing? No other board members missing? So we got how many then? You live in the district?
No,
But
I
you're
told
on
you I
board.
didn't.
Let's see, you live in the district, but you're on the board.
Well, I'm
But
a
he's a
fireman.
fireman.
Yeah, I was also voted on that years ago.
Listen, I have no argument with that, question. And I appreciate that, thank you very much. You live in the district?
No.
You live in the district, don't you? So, we've got 3, right? Y'all need to take a call.
The secretary,
Huh?
the secretary,
Yeah, you live in the district?
no.
Okay, so we got 4. 4 board members that live in the district.
Don't live in it.
I requested the bylaws months ago. I finally got the bylaws. David come down and made a call at our church. And let me say this, I don't have any problem with all of these guys that are serving in the fire department or serving on the board. But things have got out of hand a little bit, and I'm trying to get them back in hand, is what I'm trying to do. And there's some things that bug me. So I started asking for information. I couldn't get any information, nothing. I mean, I asked for all kinds of things. I sent an official request. I just heard your minutes. Did you mention that official request in your minutes?
Did you send it to the board meeting?
Yeah, did you?
So I can explain that.
Yeah, you explain that.
All right. So when you called me or came by,
I typed up an official request and called to make sure he had it. And so then I was told that there was a board meeting had, but everybody was told not to talk to Willie. That's what I was told now. Now, what did
Somebody lied to you.
Yeah.
That's fine,
See,
but what
that's
did
the
my
thing.
official request get put before the board?
because we were told not to by legal advice.
Who?
You needed to come and do an official request to the board of directors. Now, your bylaws, listen, your bylaws have been set here ready. We don't hand deliver.
You told
can
me
come and
so.
get
You
it.
told me the first time, so.
They've been sitting on my desk.
Okay, and then I come and got them today, right?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
they've been here the whole time.
Well,
Now,
why didn't I get notified that they've been ready?
Willie, who's the lawyer for this board?
Yeah, that's my
The
next
county
question.
attorney, or who is the attorney for the board?
we don't have an attorney for the board.
What kind of legal advice did
We have a
I'm
representative.
sorry, I did not get a name of who's speaking.
you see in Bristol?
Cecilia Driscoll. She's a former county commissioner.
Management Solutions for Emergency Services.
And that doesn't sound like an attorney, they have attorneys on staff for it.
No, it's legal advice. He has attorneys, and he goes through attorneys and judges. Now, I think what a lot of people is not realizing is, this is not a public entity.
Oh.
We are
thank you,
not.
Thank you, thank you.
We are not a
Listen to
government.
This is really important, I want you to listen to me.
No, we are not a government building. But, again, like I said, everything y'all are talking about and don't understand has been wanting to be addressed at every annual meeting.
Okay.
And they haven't been. Nobody showed up.
Yep, okay. So now, that board meeting, was it advertised or was it?
Yes, it was on the sign out front.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I looked on your Facebook, I looked on your Facebook page and I never saw it.
I recognize the planning for Lincoln Times News. My understanding is it's supposed to be advertised with the media, the newspaper, local media, when there's an annual meeting. My recollection of records, we can't find that it's ever been advertised in the newspaper that there's gonna be an annual meeting. So how are people supposed to know that there's a meeting if you don't do what's required by the bylaws to advertise it?
May I address that, David?
Yeah.
I was, thank you for bringing that up. I was believing that it was in the newspaper. And if that's wrong, I stand corrected.
We can't find it, and,
I remember reading
there
it
28 years.
Yeah.
There's other newspaper.
So,
You're supposed to be in a newspaper that covers your area under subscription. Just like a legal notice when somebody passes away, a sale of property. The county, when they do meetings, it has to be published in our newspaper because we're the official news outlet of Lincoln County.
And you're with?
Lincoln Times News,
And where you out of?
Lincoln. And we also cover Gaston County because we own Cherryville legal as well.
right.
So we get legal notices for Cherryville and Lincoln County, as required by law.
Now, let's talk about those bylaws a minute that I finally got. And I looked through them today, and boy, was I scratching my head. Man, I read those things and I thought, what in the world is this?
Okay,
Johnny,
wait
are
just
you
a minute.
leaving?
Let me,
Wait 1 minute, The gentleman that's here, that's buying the building.
That's looking into purchasing the building.
yeah,
So,
Jess.
we have no problem with you. We love you. I do business with you and I
Yes, sir.
love you. You're a great guy.
Thank you.
So I want you to know that and everybody to know that. So no problems with you. Let me ask you a question. When did you get interested in this building?
Been looking for a building for 6 years since I bought.
When'd you get interested in this building?
When I was talking to people about, was there any buildings around the area?
And who told you about it?
When I was talking to David about the possibility of, if they saw of any buildings around or anything else, possibility that building would be for sale.
And when was that?
Wait a minute, I got a question for
Wait,
you.
wait,
So, okay.
I'm gonna come back.
A couple months ago,
Okay.
couple months ago,
About 2 months ago?
something like that.
2?
Y'all are, can you tell me who this is? Who
Yeah.
runs this?
Rum-
Huh?
It's the Crouse Community History and Photo.
Who runs that site?
Private organization has nothing.
Who runs the site?
Okay, 2 things. Ramona Ramsey works for me and runs the site, and we have meetings. It's privately owned, and I pay for all the expenses because I'm a history buff, and I like to do history and genealogy, and I'll just tell you that costs me somewhere around $55,000-$60,000 a year.
Well, right here on August the 4th, you, or whoever posted, Monday, August the 11th at 7 p.m. Cross Volunteer Fire Department.
So let me tell you.
Wait a minute, and
All
we,
right, so-
That's
Yeah.
your board annual meeting, not your annual meeting. Your annual meeting is in July, your board meeting is the week following in August.
So-
nobody showed up to
I-
the board
Just-
meeting.
just hold
And
on
I
one-
finished
hold
the
on
only
1 minute.
reason I came here.
Hold on 1 minute. Mona, tell them what I told you to do. Have you not always publicized the fire department and did it because
That's
you
why
love?
I did the fundraiser for Michelle and David.
And what do I tell you to do about the fire department?
Give them, promote them possibly every time I can.
Okay, thank you. That's
But
what
I'm saying, everybody's saying nobody heard about it.
Okay.
Ms.
All right.
Secretary, that is your board annual meeting. You're
Yeah.
not actually supposed to invite me.
I'm gonna, you might wanna stay and listen to this. Everybody loves you.
Oh, I think.
And I love.
No, I've been working 12 hours today. I got other things I need to get to do.
Okay, well, I understand that.
The only reason I came tonight was to identify myself and to assure you I'm not trying to do anything underhandedly. My name's Johnny Hefner. I'm the owner of Waltz Lock and Key. It's been in Lincoln County since 1962.
And Johnny, no relation to me.
Right, we
Not
spell it
close.
different, yeah.
We might have had a different mothers and fathers that went to
Right.
different schools together, right?
And, but no, it's, as far as the community building goes, if you wanna say my hat's in the ring or whatever else, I'm the reason the rezoning's going on, because I put in the application, because I can't move my business there, unless it can be zoned as a neighborhood business. Everything in Crouse is zoned as rural residential. So, to my knowledge and understanding from what the zoning board is telling me, that means, they're hoping to make it to be like 5-acre plots or bigger, for future development of single-family homes or mini farms or whatever else. I mean, that's up to their, explanation or whatever. But I have not purchased the building as of yet. It's not been sold, it's not been anything done with it yet. I'm just, if it don't rezone for neighborhood business, I can't put the locks on.
Thank you for being interested in locating in Crouse. We
Yes, sir.
appreciate it.
Yes, sir, but, I'll let you get about your meeting, y'all holler.
Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, so let me just pick back up a little bit and go back to some of the things that I wanted to continue to talk about. So, you know, I just kind of heard about this sale, and it was sprung on me, and I said, what? You know, it upset me. And then I started telling a few people, and I had a few people listen, and they got really upset about it. And, you know, so that kind of said, I need to look into this thing a little bit and dig into it a little bit and get to know a little bit more about everything. So, about your bylaws. Do y'all read your bylaws?
Yes, sir.
Never seen them. You've never seen them? You've seen them?
I've seen them, I haven't got.
So you're on the board, wouldn't you ask for a copy of the bylaws? Well, I got them, about, I'm gonna say it's 11 o'clock, 10:45, 11 o'clock, something like that. So I started reading them, and boy, did I get confused. Boy, I was confused. And it says in the, well, first off, look, who's got a set of the bylaws? Let me see if I got it. You got a set there, Howard? Are those up to date, recent ones like I got? Yeah. You wanna just read off of, I got to read this thing and so, this set of bylaws is a mess. It's screwed up, I'm just gonna tell you. It's got some crazy stuff in it. So first I heard 4 board members outside of the district. And how many is it supposed to have?
No more than 3 directors may reside outside the Crouse voluntary fire district.
So we got 4 outside. Let me tell you another thing that really just got me upset when I started reading this. So y'all voted for a tax increase, and I guess all of you voted, and all of you voted for it, I guess. Did anybody vote against it? Okay, so everybody else voted for it, I assume.
I didn't wanna pay it either. I said, I didn't wanna pay it either on the acreage I've got, but I have to.
Well, now,
Willie, are we just concerned about the amount of taxes that is allocated for the fire department? What about the rest of Lincoln County?
well,
You're doing a lot of talking, it seems like you're out here
Listen,
to
I've
lash the
done
station.
all of that investigation, and I'll
Yeah.
get to it in a little bit.
Yeah,
But
would
first
people
off-
donate that amount
well,
if
first
it
off-
wasn't taxed?
First off, you voted for
No.
a tax increase. You voted for a tax increase, and your board's not even legal to vote for it, the way I see it. You said you all voted except Chucky, I think. But your board's not even legal to vote for it the way I see it right now.
Chucky voted yes on the tax increase.
No, sir.
Yes, you did. You voted yes on the tax
David,
increase, no on
I
the,
voted in front of David.
I got it on the paper, I wrote down and
David,
you told
straighten
me.
him out.
Okay, it doesn't matter, let's not argue. I'm not here to argue, I'm just here to make sure y'all wake up and recognize some things, and we get some things in order. So, tell me what else is in there.
There shall be 12 directors to serve staggered terms of 3 years. Two directors shall be nominated by the resident taxpayers from the Crouse Voluntary Fire District who were in attendance and voting at the annual meeting. One director shall be nominated by roster members of the Crouse Voluntary Fire District. In the annual board members meeting to be held at the principal office of the Crouse Voluntary Fire District on the first Monday following the first Tuesday in August, the returning incumbent board must approve or reject nominated board members.
So I'm reading these things, I'm gonna
I'm sorry, excuse me, who's speaking?
Go ahead.
I'm Debbie Hefner.
Debbie?
Yes,
Give-
Hefner.
Give him your address.
My physical address is 2393 Pleasant Grove Church Road.
Okay, so I'm sitting there reading these things, and I'm not a college graduate. I just graduated from high school, and dumb as a rock. I wasn't that smart, and I was so stupid. I went down here and bought a convenience store. It's called the One Stop down here, and I started running that thing for a few years, and I had some fun and enjoyed myself. But I was glad to get out of it. But I got to reading these things, and even though I'm not that smart, as Jeff Bodine would say, is how do you come up with that math? Because I'm looking at this thing and it says elect 3 directors every 3 years. And can you read from that section right there, or Debbie, can you read from it? But it had a couple things. It had the address wrong. It's got your address wrong in the bylaws.
Yep, the very first article says, registered office of the corporation required by law shall be located at 2764 Old West Highway 150, Lincolnton, North Carolina, 82033. That 82033, I realize, is a typo, but you do have the wrong city.
But it says Lincoln.
Yeah, it says Lincoln. But if you do 3 newly elected directors every 3 years, that's 9. But your bylaws call for 12,
So 3 and 3 and 3 is 9, but then the bylaws calls for 12.
so you would have to elect 4 every 3 years.
And that's just screwed up. That's not right. So there's got to be some examination of these bylaws and some corrections and updates made. Because I'm just going to tell you, if I wanted to, I'd get my attorney Wesley Deaton just to stop this sale just like that. Because you hadn't properly handled it. So
Of course,
I
the
think
big
I could do
thing
that
on,
very
the
easily.
big thing on the bylaws is, I don't know about the rest of you, but count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Mary Ann makes 13.
13 is 14 altogether. Basically.
14 altogether.
So you're 2 over the 12. And I don't think the 12's right. I think it's really 9, because if you do the math, 3, 3, and 3, that's 9. So this whole thing is just this set of bylaws. I don't know who did them, or I'm not blaming y'all, please understand. But I'm trying to get attention to some things that just bother me, and I'm gonna get that attention because I'm gonna keep ripping it off here. So,
Can I say one thing?
whose is this?
I just pulled them out, laid them right there.
Thank you, Howard.
So, a lot of this stuff we've got was here. A lot of your board members was not here. A couple of them was. This stuff was written and done before us. And yeah, it is our responsibility to go through it and try to figure this stuff out, but when you're trying to rebuild a fire department, some of that stuff's kinda hard to do at the same time. But thank you for pointing all that stuff out. I have no say in it, this is the board of directors' dealings, but I want you to know that this stuff was here. When we came in, every bit of it was piled up in that room right there in boxes and had to be gone through and pulled out and filed and figure out where it went.
David, is the fire marshal here by chance?
No.
Okay, I just was curious if he was here. Because if he was, I got a few things to ask him. So, when did you put the community center under contract?
Never been on a contract.
It's not under contract. Okay. So, Johnny doesn't have a contract?
Nope.
So you could walk away from this sale if you wanted to?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
What's the selling price? Just curious.
Yeah, that's the other question.
Alright, so the selling price is $250,000.
How many acres?
I think it's less than 3.
I'm sorry, who asked that question back there?
Cecilia Bristol.
It's like 2 point,
City is a city of Bristol.
I think it's like 2 point something acres, but it's well above what the tax evaluation of the property is. Well above it, almost double. I think the property's somewhere around 140.
So let me just say this, I'll say this from my real estate hat. As far as the selling price, I don't really have a problem with it. What kind of ticked me off was it was done in private and agreed to be sold in private with no notice to the community, no publication to the community, nothing. I just go and walk down the street and I run into somebody, did you hear our community center was sold? And I know that some of you were not around here during all those thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours that people put into building that community center and building this fire department and paid for it off of chicken suppers. And you had it right, Dave. They never got one nickel of tax money. They did it by hard labor, volunteer labor. So why am I here? I don't even want to be here. I love all of you. I'm not here to pick a fight with any of you.
Well, can I ask you a question while you're emotional about this?
Yep.
I'll just ask you a question. Well, I'll ask everybody a question. When we were called here, there was a paper laying on the table in the board meeting for the signature to give this place and the community building to the Hires Creek Fire Department. Now, where was everybody at?
I don't know.
Was y'all told about that?
But some people, I think, Gaines and Mary Ann were kind of the leaders in making sure that didn't happen, I believe. Now, that's just.
My wife, Mary Ann, she picked up on it and talked to, I don't know whoever.
So I don't know if y'all know, but back 5 years ago, I'm gonna call it, our fire department was looking to be taken over by Howard Creek because there was problems. So I give you credit on that. That's no argument. I'm not
Fire
here.
marshal told us in a meeting that we could never turn it around.
Yeah.
That was his words.
So that's outstanding. That's wonderful.
And then you've got some people showing up that said they never wanted Crouse Volunteer Fire Department to show up on their property, and if he was dying, to let him die.
Yep,
I mean-
I'll give you full credit. I'll just give you some more credit. As far as making your calls, I think y'all are doing a good job. For the most part, I haven't heard too many complaints. I've heard a few, but for the most part, most of the comments I've heard about making your calls and taking care of those calls have been good. So I'm
We
not
had a
here.
call at our church yesterday, Willie mentioned that before, and it was handled superbly. We had a member of our congregation who had a medical emergency, and the fire department was there promptly, with an EMT, or at least I assume that person had some training, as an EMT, and they did very well. They stabilized the individual and took very good care of him. And it was handled very professionally and very quickly.
And then with, the new rating for the insurance, property insurance. You know, since they come in, they've got that up to a level what? 4?
If I'm, this is gonna take a few minutes, if y'all want me to condense it, I just wanna kinda give you a little timeline of what happened over the last few months and help foster a sense of understanding, if I may. So let me just kinda tell you that earlier this year, I began to hear that rumor about our community center being sold. And, obviously, when I heard that, and I told Debbie, she was upset because her mama put thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours, and I ain't stretching these numbers. In fact, I'm leaving them too short.
My parents were still looking after the community building when they were in their 80s. Now granted, they had to ask the firemen for help sometimes, but remember, this was 2 people in their 80s. And my mama was still renting the community building. Mama and Daddy were cleaning up and they were doing repairs. And Mama and Daddy did that for more years than I can count.
How many of you remember Oscar Sappenfield? I do. Yeah. So Oscar was one of the last remaining board members. And Oscar asked Debbie to sit down with him and her mama and talk about the community center. And they went through a whole litany of different things of what to do with this community center. But the main thing that they heard from Oscar and from Betty Carolyn was they wanted to see that community center taken care of and saved. So what they did, after a lot of different discussion, they come to the fire department and said, if y'all feel like you can use it and you feel like you'll take care of it, then we'll give you the community center because you're getting tax money and you can use some of that tax money to help take care of the community center if you have a use for it. That's kind of, now, there was an understanding, and I think we got a verification of that from Ron Ramsey. And Ron said that he remembered it because he was, I guess, the chairman of the board, president of the board. But anyway, long story short is, it was very well understood that that community center would not be sold and taken out of the fire department hands. And then when people start hearing about it and nobody's told them about it, they get upset and it bothers them. So they started, some of them started coming to me and said, Willie, we need a voice to help us. We can't seem to get anybody. Said every time we talk to somebody about it, they say, oh, nobody cares about that old community center. It ain't worth nothing. It's in bad shape, all of this stuff. Well, I finally said, I'll be your voice. I'll come and talk about it because I remember all the hard work that people put in. We got pictures. We got pictures of Lester Avery. God bless his soul. Lester Avery used to pick me up every Monday night and take me down there for scouts. I lived up there near Lester, and I went up and worked for Lester Avery and his wife Nancy, and worked with Hubert and them in the summertime. And he'd pick me up and take just hours and hours. Well, we got pictures of him helping put in the block and the windows and stuff like that. And God, Lester put in all kinds of time to make that happen. You know, Lester and Hubert got killed in a silo up here, bless their soul. Couldn't ask for better treatment. But I worked for them and knew them well. But we started making a list, and it's an incredible list of people that worked on that community building and worked on this fire department. So anyway, I come up and I started hearing all this information. I'm going to try to condense this down. I began to asking questions of some folks around. Oh, we didn't know nothing about it. We didn't hear you telling me that they sold our community building. You know, those kind of responses and stuff. So, you know, as a business owner, as a taxpayer and stuff, I started digging in, started asking questions. So I have a few Crouse Fire District taxpayers that work for me in my office. I started sharing all of this with them, and they said, well, that don't sound too good, you know, so they started digging. So I hadn't done all this digging. People that work for me or friends of mine has done a lot of this information that I'm sharing with you. So they started digging and looking for information. They pulled the 990s. We do a lot of work for not-for-profits. They knew about 990s. They pulled those 990s, put them into a spreadsheet for me, and come and sat down with me and said, we want you to look at this. We want you to look at this. And I said, well, keep digging. So I kept digging. They kept digging. Yes, I will. I'll try to do that for you, thanks. So I began to look at all these spreadsheets that they had produced and saw some dramatic changes in the spending of this fire department. Now, there may be great reasons for all of that, but there may be some reasons that don't just, add up. But 990s, I don't know if y'all have ever looked at not-for-profit 990s, but they don't give you very much financial information on those 990s. It's pretty limited. So what I did is I come up and I talked to David. I said, David, is it true that the community center's been sold? Yeah, it's true. I thought you were a little dismissive about it, but I wasn't mad, but I thought you were a little dismissive about it. And then I asked for information. Well, David responded to me by email, made a call. We had a couple phone calls, and then later you gave it. But I wasn't getting any of the information I was asking for, information that I needed to really. So my exact words to David, I was telling you, David named off about 4 people, and he said, you've been talking to the complainers. And he named off about 4 people. You know what I did after that? I walked out and called all 4 of those people and asked them for information to see what they could say. Now, those people I called, they might complain, but I know they got a big heart for this community. And they wouldn't be complaining if they didn't have that heart, because that's where their heart is right here in this community. So that's what kind of got me really, and then I went on, David finally sent me, 2 months ago, 6, 8 weeks ago, you sent me 2 audits.
Yeah, the other one was in place still, we're waiting on the response.
Yeah. Have you got the 3rd audit? Yeah. So let me talk to you about audits a minute. So I'm just gonna tell you, I made that official records request with the county. I'll let you know that I made it. And then I sent you the same official records request asking for the same kind of information from the fire department. I'll just tell you this, the county was very, very slow. I mean, they were so slow about getting me information, I was really aggravated with the county. But finally, some of the information started coming in, and I got to looking at that. And then there's a lot of stuff they didn't send me. But after we began to kind of talk about this on the Crouse community photo, history and photo page, people started sending me stuff. And I started getting all kinds of information that I was asking for from the county that they hadn't sent me. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk to Lincoln County and say, why didn't you give me this information? I got all kinds of additional information after that. But it was kind of interesting to go through that process and see Lincoln County not really providing me the information they had, and then the fire department really not providing me anything but 2 audits. And let me talk to you about audits a minute. I've been in business a long time. Audits are usually done where they just kind of look at your entries and verify that your entries are correct. That's one type of audit. And then they go to another level on audits, and they might take a sampling of some of the information, some of the entries in that audit. Now, the county did 3 audits, and they took a 20% sampling. But I know from experience, 20% sampling in an audit doesn't really get to the root questions of whether there's something else that needs to be looked into or not. So that bothered me. So I kept diving deeper, kept getting information. when I was here, David, you told me that I could call the accountant and get the financial information. I called the accountant, and the accountant said, no, said, I don't think I should give it to you. He said, let me make a call and ask. I said, well, he told me I could get it. And Alan Freeman told me, he said, Willie, he said, I'm gonna make the call. I don't think you're gonna get the information. I didn't get the information.
I didn't have the right to tell you you could. I wasn't thinking about it when I opened my mouth, but that has to come from the board.
Okay, but it was never brought up to the board.
Willie, what did you say? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, I can't,
hear you.
you're talking to the
So-
people
so
and this is a board meeting.
I said I asked for some accounting information, and I was told I could get it. And when I called the accountant, he told me I couldn't get it, that he needed to call and talk to David. And he called me back and said, David said, no, don't give me any information at all.
We just couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
You're good.
It'd be nice if we had a microphone, you know? So then on Thursday, April the 16th, the zoning sign went up. And I had several people call me and sent me a picture of the zoning sign and stuff like that. And I said, well, it's going to zoning. I said, it's time for me to make sure that we at least make sure that all of the community knows what's going on. So that's when I asked Mona to do a write-up on the history of the community center. And I took my information that my folks in my office had gathered for me on the financial side. And I didn't take all of it. I only took about 4 or 5 pieces of it. I had about 10 pieces that I started to write. But I took about 4 or 5 pieces of that financial information, and I did you know? And I had Mona post it on the Facebook page. I said, I'm gonna get answers, and I still want answers.
Will you yield?
What?
Will you yield the floor?
What?
Will you yield the floor?
Yeah, just a minute. Let me finish.
I'm giving you an hour.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna wrap up. We'll be able to do that.
You say the same things over and over.
Yeah, but just hang on a minute. So basically, a lot of these things I'm talking to you about tonight is what a lot of these people out here come tonight and expressed to me that they were concerned about and stuff. So I got a few recommendations for you that I haven't even spoken, but I'm gonna quickly run through them. I will take a few minutes. Will y'all allow me about 5 more minutes, please?
And then you're gonna yield the floor to the gentleman back there?
Yeah, absolutely. I want everybody to talk. So, to me, in this fire department and on this board of directors, there's a lack of transparency right now. You can't really get information and you're not really notified before there's actions taken. And I think there needs to be more transparency in this fire department, this board of directors. I'm concerned about nepotism. So we have a chief who's ex officio board member, meaning that he's on the board but he can't vote. We have a secretary that's his wife.
No, he's not. It's his
No,
mother.
Your
I'm his
mother.
wife.
Mother.
I'm his wife.
Sure. You're his wife.
I'm his wife.
Okay, and you're his mother, and then you're his father, and you're fire chief, you're deputy chief, and you're the secretary. In my opinion, that's nepotism, and all I'm saying, I'm not accusing nobody of nothing, but in your bylaws, you need a strong written nepotism rule that controls that, because what happens, I've looked back and explored the internet and stuff, and a lot of times, monies get to missing in not-for-profit organizations because they don't have a nepotism policy. So that's another recommendation I got for you. The other thing that bothers me is people that live outside the fire district are voting on tax increases. Now, you tell me if Mecklenburg County Commissioners come up here and voted us a tax increase in Lincoln County, how would you feel?
So on the board, it's okay.
Okay, yeah, I didn't say,
There's no bylaw that says that you cannot vote because you live outside the district.
Unless you yield the floor.
all I'm saying is that law.
Yeah.
Will you yield the floor?
Yeah, just a minute. I'm gonna finish and you can have it. You can talk all you want to.
Whether you saying money's been missing or
No.
misspent?
No,
Well, if it is,
Well, what
we
are
don't
you
need
saying?
proof.
I'm saying if you have a nepotism clause and have some checks and balances for that nepotism, you don't have to worry so much about things getting missing. What happens is people that are closely related, I'll just tell you, I've had people work for me, and I have a couple of family members working together, and things get missing.
You know, I'm one of the
Okay.
senior people in
This
Crouse
is the
now,
thing.
and to read things on Facebook that come through the community thing or whatever, accusing us of fraud, doing things behind closed, I'm okay financially. I don't need to commit fraud,
Right.
and I'm not committing fraud.
Right.
So if that's happening, show proof,
Oh, I'm not.
show proof.
I'm not even saying it's happening. All I'm saying.
You said there's a
Well,
possibility of
Yeah,
it.
you're putting that seed in
And
other
where's the
people's
waiting list
minds.
for people who wanna rent the building there?
If
Do we
y'all-
have a waiting list?
listen.
Anybody wanna use the building?
If the board doesn't want a nepotism clause, don't worry about it. I'm just
But
letting
they
you
need to
know.
watch what they put on their so-called community page.
There is a paper trail for every cent that is spent in this department.
Right, thank you.
I
But
mean,
this is Crouse,
it's
people
to
kin.
the,
Where you gonna find 12 people that ain't kin? How many people out here kin to you?
How many people's willing to put in the time out here? I hear the community wants to be involved. You gotta put in the time to be involved.
Yeah, I
we
live
need
in
so
Bellevue.
many outside the community that can be,
I totally agree. Don't disagree with that.
But it's always, this little department's been beat down and beat down since it was founded.
Don't disagree with that. I'm just saying it would be good if you had a nepotism clause in your bylaws.
but you also have got to listen that you've got individuals that is bringing stuff up and stirring the pot just enough to keep it stirred up.
You got people
That,
that say
they're
ways to
the ones
reduce your
that
budget.
caused
Now, see,
that
that's-
man right there and this man
This-
right
this-
here to
this is
start
where-
this department
this
back
is-
up.
This is where I disagree with you, son. I think if you're totally transparent and you release and put your financials online where people can see it, if you put that stuff out there, David, what did I tell you when I first came to see you?
You said you'd try to stop rumors.
I said, you get me the information you need and I can become your biggest defender.
I understand that.
Because you started talking to me about people was telling all this stuff.
What kinds of transparency is there? How many different types of transparency is there? How many? There's a lot of different ways of demeaning transparency. When transparency comes to this fire department,
Danny, can you speak a little louder?
yeah. Transparency, when it comes to this fire department, this is a corporation, right? Anything this corporation owns can be voted by the board to do what we want to with it. And it sounds to me like y'all afraid to lose memories. You gonna stop progress because of memories? I've got a lot of memories here in Crouse. I'm 64 years old, been here all my life. I moved 50 feet behind my dad and mom's yard. As far as Willie having his family, they can't be a better family. I love them like family. But it seems like we're getting bashed. We're trying to do the best we can for a very small community. There's people in here, I don't even know if y'all are in this community. Because if I checked it right, how many people in here know where the community building is? Okay, all y'all know where it's at. What color is it? What color is the roof? So you've been there, right? So if you want to always cherish those memories, get a good picture of it and put it up. You can't stop progress because of memories.
Now see, right
We
there.
can sell what we want to if we own it. We can sell it.
Well, we had members that
It's
were
not for rent.
actually,
Where's the waiting list?
wait a minute, we had members in
Where's
the
the waiting
department
list?
that
People-
actually was
Let me
renting it
ask-
out.
Let me ask you a question. How do you get your paychecks if you work for the fire department? How do you have a budget that you can spend money off of? Where's that
Absolutely.
money come from?
Absolutely. It comes different factors. You got grants, you got taxpayers' money.
But where's 95% of it come from?
How much of your homeowners went to the fire department? What percentage?
Yeah,
What percentage?
What's
come
that?
on.
Of everything that your property tax, your total, How much went to the fire department?
A pretty good chunk.
No, it didn't.
No, that
No, it didn't.
dollar number.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
So, right there's most of these people out here that are upset are taxpayers.
Over what? Over what? Selling the building?
Yeah.
That's why it's called a community building.
It's not a community.
I mean,
We're selling that building until it's been put up for sale.
It's not a community building.
How
It's a
about a
training
show of
facility.
hands, who's
It's not even a
selling
community
this
building.
community building?
Is that,
training facility anymore.
Huh?
It's just a building.
see, guys,
Fire department don't rent it out.
At the end of the day.
all right, let's calm down. This is getting ridiculous.
You got people who want to rely on mutual aid to reduce the budget. That's ridiculous. You want this department to quit.
Comments typed up, if anybody wants a copy of them, I'll be glad to share them with the press and anybody else.
Well, Mr. Evans, I think we
Okay.
realize that you've talked for an hour and 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Let somebody else talk.
Gentlemen, your name and, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
I'm Dr. Edward Haynes. I live in Lincolnton, 4 blocks outside Crouse District. I am with Skybell and with Skybell Foundation. In 13 months, me and my partner have driven over 70,000 miles across the country to visit over 1,000 fire departments. There is not one fire department that we have been to in every big city, small town, names of cities that you never even thought existed, that has the family unity that is here, that has a fire chief that cares about every single one of his firefighters. David's #1 job is his firefighter safety and health in there. And I saw the community building for sale, and I heard Debbie Downer talk about it was given to the Crouse Fire Department for the tax money. I don't believe that. I believe all the people who built it, serviced it, what have you, gave it for the betterment of Crouse. It's not used for training, it just sits vacant.
If the sale goes through, the fire department has 2 debts. One debt's $93,000 for the engine sitting right here. That was the last engine that was bought. Every fire department has to have at least one structural engine within 20 years old. That's ISO requirements for the state. So we owe $93,000 here. We owe right around $40,000 left on some turnout gear that we had to get right off the bat before any grants were available or anything to operate this fire department. That was done by lease purchase. With the 2, we pay $40,000 a year for the truck. We pay $13,500 a year for the turnout gear on the lease purchase. Equal those up, that comes out to be $50,500 a year. This fire department, how y'all are sitting tonight, I'm not sure how many's in here. There's quite a few. We have 41 volunteers that's on this fire department. We cannot all meet at the same time. We can't all train at the same time. So something that we were looking for with the construction company was an addition built onto the back of this station at a fair price, of course. We've been doing some bidding, some quotes, and then trying to chisel them down to get what we need, which would be a large training room, the offices, the bunk rooms that are, these firemen can actually go to sleep in, because they can't go to sleep up here at night. You gotta have fire watch at all times because we're not sprinkling. And showers. Showers is the main thing. There is not one single shower here. So when the firemen just started their shift and have a structure fire, they have to go home, take a shower, and then come back to finish out their shift. Well, that's, right there is $50,500 that this fire department is already used to paying a year. If we could sell the building, pay off the debt, take what's left of the building and put it toward the down payment on the loan for the addition, and try to get that payment to the level that we're already used to spending, nothing has to change as far as money, and this fire department grows with the membership. And that's why we were doing what we were doing.
How much
Everything
money does the fire department get from the taxes now?
in Lincoln County, we got $406,000.
Where's that? You're looking at
$389,000. Make sure you get firemen on time at your time of need.
Tell me what that time out of
Staff and payroll.
Tell me what the time is out of the station now.
The time out of this station averages 3 minutes or less.
3 minutes or less. They're
All the
rolling
time.
to your home.
Unless we are on another call and have to change the ball game there and send these people here and these people here. That might take a little bit longer, but your average response time now is 3 minutes or less.
And how full is the roster, David?
Tell them what your budget is for this coming year. So the fire department runs from July 1st to June 30th each year. I looked at your proposed budget, tell them what that budget is.
I'd have to go pull it, to be honest with you. I didn't even grab it. I can go in there and get it though. Because that budget's just paper. It don't even exist right now.
Well, what he just said, provide quicker time to any emergency in this community here. We go to a lot of volunteer fire departments that they are not staffed. Their average time to a structure fire is 6 to 15 minutes. Do you know how long it takes the average house to burn to the ground? 8 minutes. With your loved ones' lives in it, with your pets' lives in it. But this chief has made sure that that's not gonna happen if he can help in there. We'll read you some stats, to go along with what he said about a new addition. Showers. The NFPA states that all firefighters should immediately decontaminate themselves with a shower within the hour after they leave a structure fire. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Cancer.
The IAFF, which is the International Association of Firefighters, states that cancer is the leading cause of death for firefighters. There are 364,000 members of the IAFF. From 2002 to 2021, 65% of the career firefighters deaths were caused by cancer. Career being 30 years. In 2024, it jumped to 72%. In 2025, it jumped to 80%. These are the men and women willing to go into your home to save your lives without being paid very little, if nothing at all. They need these facilities. This chief is doing everything he can in there. Would you rather have the facilities here or a building that sits vacant over there? The building's not going anywhere, according to the man who's buying it in there. The numbers I got today from Lincoln County are a little bit different than yours. But they can't raise taxes according to the state law more than 15 cents on the thousand. If they were to jack it up to 15 cents per thousand in Crouse community, to raise the money that that community center would bring, you know how many years it would take? 7 years. 7 years And how many firefighters are going to get cancer? How many of the men and women in this community are going to get cancer? Yeah, that's where the money goes. A response time like he's providing now, go somewhere else. You'll hear them crying. Volunteer firefighters are dying. You haven't heard, in New York State, they lost 55,000 in 5 years, and guess what? 5 fire departments in county have now closed. 5. No one protected. You're still paying that tax. You and you and you, still paying that fire tax, but they have nobody. Because guess what? These firefighters are becoming conscious of the fact that they may get cancer. I'm gonna go volunteer somewhere else. Is that what Crouse wants? To lose their volunteer firefighters? What he has achieved here with the amount of volunteers is staggering. We share his information all over the country. They go, how does he do it? The number one reason how he does it is that man sitting right there. Can you imagine this community losing their volunteer firefighters? Then you don't have anybody during the day or night to come to your house in emergency. What you gonna do then? Hopefully you get out. What about a person that's disabled? What about them? They gonna get out?
If I may, how many EMTs is in this station? Certified EMTs? How many you got? On the roster, we got 11 qualified EMTs.
And that's what the Skybound Foundation is for volunteer firefighters only, all the way across America. Now, you think the Lincoln commissioners care about volunteer firefighters in Lincoln County? No. We went to them 2 months ago and introduced the Skybound Foundation. Wise was there. Guess what we heard? Even though they promised to contact us. No phone call was made from no commissioner. Not one. It is to help the volunteer firefighters. Men and women who are risking their lives. But not one commissioner was that. Wonder why that is. Do they care? This community is thriving in the fire department because of that one man right there. And every one of these volunteers, every one of them, they need your support, your back, and a big fat thank you. They don't need someone to come up here and get into the dynamics of board meetings, the bylaws. Those can all be corrected. To bring up points about the bylaws, that doesn't even matter. If you've got a complaint about the bylaws, submit them in writing. Don't get up here and try to criticize these men and women. They're doing their job. Their job is to protect you.
I think you're misrepresenting the reason a lot of us are here tonight. And I want to look at all of you firefighters.
I didn't say anybody criticized you. You're sitting up here condemning the way this board does business. You attack this board, you attack them.
If I could say one thing.
I would be absolutely ashamed.
Hold it. Let's calm down. Let's bring it back down just a little bit.
Can I speak for
Gentlemen on the floor?
Ted, give me 1 second, please.
Go ahead.
Let me say this. I don't think there's anybody here that doesn't appreciate every ounce that goes into this fire department. That's not what this is. This is not what this is. Here's the thing. Here's where the problem came from. It was about a gift that was given to the fire department, and this could have been resolved had the fire department said, look, we can't afford to own and operate this place anymore. We're going to put it up for sale. Let everybody in the community know it. Maybe there's a church or an organization that wanted to buy it for its purpose. And if they didn't, the fire department is completely within their rights to say, look, we need the money to buy equipment to run this fire department, and we're going to sell that resource. We made it available. I think the problem came from is it didn't happen so anybody knew it until it was kind of already done. I think John's got a great purpose for it. It'll be great for the community. That's not it. The reason people are here is they weren't informed. It's your resource. You can do whatever you want to with it. But if you're gonna maintain a relationship with the community, you're gonna need to keep the community involved.
I agree with what you just said, but everything he said was nothing pertaining to what you said.
He never said one thing about the fire department not doing what they were
No,
supposed
he
to
never
do.
said about the sale of it.
Hold on just a
Talking
minute.
about protocol in here, which he's negative Nelly.
And I say the same thing, it's never,
Wait a
you
minute.
have bylaws to follow bylaws.
I have a corporation, I know the bylaws.
Well, we're just saying that wasn't followed.
Right, and Selena, you're supposed to be here talking about the
Okay.
sale of that building,
Ma'am,
what it's for.
go ahead, you stand
Can I
up
say
and
something
finish.
real fast, and then,
Go ahead, David.
and then you got all you want, okay? Listen, y'all. I probably am partially to blame about this building situation. I'm not gonna deny it, okay?
Thanks for your time.
I go by what my chapter 55 stuff says go by. I looked at that. I didn't think, I'm saying this before I brought it to them and everybody else. You don't think about the impacts sometimes, you know what I mean? You think about just the endings, okay? So when somebody says, hey man, you know, I'll give you $250,000 for that building that we're not using, you know, we sat and looked at the stats. The last 4 years, that building in 4 years was rented, I think 3 of the years 4 times for the whole year, and 1 of the year maybe 6. Is that correct?
At the last year, we had 8 people that put their name over the rent. But on the 4 people I showed up, even the other ones didn't have a courtesy to let us know if they weren't coming. And that's all it rented for the whole year.
My son's fire department didn't use it.
And you asked after the fact.
I think I did.
After it came.
May I ask when it became a facility training?
2 years later, fire department.
Okay, my grandson's 4, and I asked if we were gonna rent it for his baby shower.
So they said it was gonna be for a training facility?
David told me and my husband that it was gonna be used as a training facility, and it was not gonna be rented no more. That was 4 years ago.
Well, that's when they, in the process of changing it up.
But you just told me it was 2 years ago.
I didn't say 2 years. I said 23. That's 3 years.
No,
I'm just assuming, oh man, I ain't got a picture perfect memory to remember all my dates like that unless I actually pull it up. But once they voted and said, they told me in their meeting, do not rent it out anymore. So when people called, I said, it's no longer available, we rent it. So
And I
therefore,
understand that. But what I'm saying is, don't say nobody didn't try to rent it, because
Again, I didn't say nobody didn't, I said they either wasn't showing up, or we only had 4 that showed up for the whole year.
And I get that, but what I'm saying is, y'all were saying 2 to 3 years ago, I tried to rent it 4 years ago.
I'm talking about the last
My
time.
grandson is 4, going on 5.
They also have a question though, before it even handed over to Crouse.
And excuse me, ma'am, what's your name?
My name is Sarah Reese, and I live in this home right here, that they're talking about building that way, and that we might lose our home.
I didn't, let me say that.
Sir, you're not gonna lose your home. We're not going that far. We won't go past the end of the parking lot path.
How much money do you get from Gaston County?
We got $130,000 from Gaston County.
That's $500,000.
And is it true that the building, if it's not used for fire department purposes, you have to pay taxes on it?
The building now is tax exempt.
Because it's a fire department, if it's a community building, would there be taxes on it?
Correct.
Okay.
But it also depends on whether it is ran by a foundation,
Or
a
not?
nonprofit, and stuff like, it depends on who has it, and whether you're eligible for the tax exemption.
So therefore, it has not been available for rent, so it could not make any money, because it had to be a fire department facility.
It was costing more money to own the building than what it was bringing in.
So therefore, you can't blame the building for not making any money, because it could make it.
I'll never blame the building, I love that building. I'll be honest, I went to Boy Scouts in that building.
I was here when that building was cleaned up and everything was down there. It was there, you got a softball field. I mean, I'm talking a long time ago. I can still see Mr. Gray, but with John Deere.
Oh, yeah. You know, I rode the elephant down there.
And see, the sad part is, you know, if you rent it out to anybody, you still have to cover that insurance. if something was to happen on that property. You know, you're liable. This department would be liable. And right now, and I'm not trying to be ugly, but right now, the building was not bringing in enough money renting it out. Our chicken suppers went downhill from the time it changed over to this new crew, cause we can't find the chicken. You know, you think that's fun, it sounds funny, but it's really not. When you go to get the chickens and it costs you more to drive to go get these chickens, you think y'all are gonna pay $16 or $18 for a plate? Wait a minute.
Calm down.
I look at that community field, so it's just, right back on this, so what that trampoline is in the rock, that building, that money, that building really got this place. And it could be, if any real fire that way, it's like these, a lot of ball people going out here playing money, this field cracks. You talking about insurance, these ball teams have to have their own insurance, go into cracks. You could rent it out and get money, good money, just from ball teams, it's cracks.
Well, you've got to turn around and put a HVAC system in it, cause it's shot, there's no air, there's no heat with, except for electric heaters being plugged in the wall, or a fireplace.
I yielded back to David.
Okay, it's your time.
It's my turn. And I first want to say to all you firemen, you were brought in here as if this community is making a statement about you. And I don't want one of you to leave here thinking that that is the case, because it absolutely 100% is not. Am I right, folks? We are 100% appreciative of every one of you and what you do, and we realize that if you go into a fire, you're risking your life. And we know that, and we truly appreciate that. We also know that you board members are catching a bunch of crap tonight. I mean, that's just how you can do it. It's hard to sit and be on the board and listen to complaints. But sometimes when you're on the board, I'm chairman of our church council. And if somebody's unhappy, guess who they come to? Me. I don't like it either. But the only way you can improve and do what needs to be done is to listen and to hear the discussions. Now, I want to tell everybody out here something, because I do kind of feel this way. It breaks my heart to think about us selling the community building. A lot of people I have a great deal of respect for, and particularly my own parents, put a lot of time and effort into that building. But if the best thing for the community and for the fire department is to sell the building and we can get the price that they're discussing, Willie and I have been in real estate a long time. That's a good price. Am I happy about it? No, I'm not.
And there's a lot of people concerned how the money's gonna be spent.
That's
So
right.
if you end up selling this building, then there ought to be some restrictions on how that money is spent if you end up selling it.
What we ask is for you to be transparent
Because
with us.
this board needs to put some very tight restrictions. If that building gets sold, you receive that money, there needs to be some very tight restrictions. Because the way people look at it right now is all of the money coming, and I'm just thinking, what's your fund balance in the last month?
We're on
60,000?
eggshells.
65,000?
No.
What?
We somewhere around 30, anywhere from 28 to 30,000 a month is what comes in.
Okay, so your fund balance.
Sometimes 32.
In your checking account and savings account, how much money do you have?
Let me go pull you up, man, okay? 'Cause I
Just
don't,
give me a guesstimate, I ain't gonna hold you to it.
I think last time we looked at it in the checking, it was like 68,000.
68,000.
Yep.
Yeah, so
And I would rather give y'all correct answers
Well,
instead of try to
what a
guess
lot of
this.
people are concerned about is that money, this building will be sold. The impression in the community, I'm just gonna tell you, is that this fire department is spending money like there's no tomorrow.
Well, and I would,
And, well, no, wait a minute, listen, and part of that comes, if you look at just the numbers, it's a little scary when you got in 3 years a 300% payroll increase. And then
course.
I looked at the future budget that you submitted to the county, and that budget goes up another good little, I don't have that percentage in front of me right now, but it goes up more. I guess the big thing, if you're gonna end up selling something like that, that's so important to the history of this community and to all the ancestors of the folks that put all these volunteer hours into it, then restrict the money and try to get input from all of these people as to how you restrict that money, and don't just go burn it up like we see on tax money.
absolutely not. When I brought it to the board, did I not say this was exactly the idea of paying off the debt and trying to get the expansion? And I don't think the board at all would have an obligation of putting a restriction on that. I don't think they would. I can't speak for them, but I don't think there would be an issue with that.
Well, we were told.
We need to add on to the fire department.
Yes.
There's no question.
We were told by one of our representatives that they were trying to get us a grant. Well, with everything that took place, we did not get that grant. State, yeah, we did not get that grant.
Well, I wouldn't depend on a grant. We need to be careful with the money. We need to be careful with the spending. This department probably needs a good balance of probably at least $150,000.
We do not agree with that. And I'll add a little bit to what you just said, Willie. When I came in, sorry, y'all. Again, like I said, we were so far behind. And everybody knows we was. The first board meeting I sat in, and every one of these, well, not every one of them, every one of them wasn't on the board at the time, but several of them was, and my remark to them is, we are gonna take a hard hit. And we did. And I told them, I said, y'all, it's gonna take us 3 to 5 years to dig out of this hole when we do take this hit. And I'm not gonna sit here and bash anybody in the past on how this place was run. All I can do is sit here now and try to fix what wasn't run properly. And that was in-date equipment, broken trucks, not having the equipment. Just in 4 years, one stick of fire hose went from being $178 to $325. One roll. And the cost of living is going up. We had to equip almost a whole truck with fire hose and nozzles. And that took a big impact. That right there was our main concern, was getting air, okay? I know we got a lot of stuff that people talked about that's extras, and we did. I went after that extra money for those pieces of equipment. They did not come out of our budget. It's been talked about the side-by-side. We have used that thing a lot, whether you want to believe it or not. We have used that thing a lot, and just in the past week, 2 or 3 times. But I went after the money and the funding for that side-by-side so it did not have to come out of the money from here, from the county, okay? People want to talk about my truck outside. I had a Chevy Equinox that the board had bought for the previous chief. It's a Chevy Equinox. We have what's called the clean cab law. You can't have your turnout gear inside your cab of your vehicle because of carcinogens and cancer. Well, we had an issue with the car with the turbo. We talked to the Chevrolet place about fixing the turbo in the car. And they said, hey man, since you're a fire department, said, we got a truck that somebody just turned in on a trade-in. Said, we'll give you almost the same thing for that car now, 2 years old, that you paid for it. We got a $22,000 trade-in on a 2-year-old car on that truck. We got a discount. Originally, everybody talked about $60,000. No, we did not pay $60,000 for that truck, okay? But with the discount and the trade-in, it was $15,000 paid for that truck, okay? Then, I think we went, guys, a month, and I was able to find the funding to finish paying that off. So that did not come out of the budget money from the county.
Answer another question.
Yes.
Everybody keeps asking, how much do you make? How much do you?
Okay, that is
how much
fine.
does your dad make and how much
Sure,
does your
sure,
mom
no
make?
problem.
I make zero.
Yeah, there's zero.
I
But,
make zero.
but yeah, that's no problem
Yeah,
whatsoever.
that's all, everybody wants to know. I'm just wanting to.
Okay,
share that.
right now, make sure I'm looking at the right one,
And he's
because
the
one of them's
lowest
off.
paid fire chief in Lincoln County.
The lowest.
No, there's one lower
Now, I
than me.
talked to a fire chief the other day at another fire department who said he made $24,000.
Yeah, there's one under me.
I talked to another fire chief that told me he made $31,000. Both of these departments in Lincoln County. So I don't think that is correct.
All right. I make $800 a week.
How much?
800.
800 a week.
Yep.
And do you get any bonuses on top of that?
No, no bonuses.
Okay. What's your dad make?
I'm just,
He makes,
a part-time paid employee.
Yeah.
I'm not a paid deputy chief.
Now, what,
I work a shift to make money.
right.
when I asked you, you told me he was
I said he
full-time.
gets paid. But we do not do full-time. We're a part-time here only. I said he's paid.
Okay.
Okay, by being paid, he works shifts,
Right.
just like the rest of them do. He's scheduled, he has to work his hours that he's scheduled. He makes $19 an hour, just like the other ones do.
Right.
He's not a paid officer, he's not a paid deputy chief, or anything like that.
Yeah. So I got the roster of hours and it looked like you were getting somewhere around 35, 36.
He probably-
36 point something is what's allowed,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So
And that's about the basic for all
Yeah,
of
I'm
them.
just asking. Now, is there any other family member that gets paid?
The board voted and approved to make her a secretary.
Okay.
And she's been doing it since day one, because she's the one that went into that room and pulled everything out of those boxes, refiled it, got everything in date, and actually helped us pass ISO inspection.
And what do you make? So what does she make?
Same rate, $19 an hour as she works.
And how many hours does she average?
The average is 36 to 40, yes.
36 to 40?
Yes.
Okay. So she's basically working full-time hours. What I'm doing is, this whole, like if you work for Lincoln County and I want to see what you make, I can look up anybody in Lincoln County and see exactly what they make. My whole thing, what I'm trying to share with this board is be transparent and just go ahead. So here's what I hear out in this community. I hear just all kinds of things about what people's making, so here's another question. The weekend that it snowed and you had all.
Excuse me.
What?
There's a conversation going on right there, and some of us can hear it, the rest of us can't, and there's a lot of conversations going on in the back of the room that none of us can hear.
Exactly. And if it does not pertain to the meeting and what's going on in here, can you please take your conversation outdoors?
What I'm doing is trying to clear up some of these rumors and questions. So I was asking what David made, what his dad made, and what his wife made. And did everybody hear that? Okay. And then the other question that everybody has is, like, for instance, you put on the Facebook page that you had 25% volunteers. Correct. This is what the questions are. So, and they said, okay, are those people getting, when we look at the payroll, they say, did those people get paid for that weekend?
Guys, did y'all get paid?
No, sir.
Did y'all get volunteer time?
Everybody volunteered, nobody got any paid at all. I forgot. So thank you.
My
They did that-
husband didn't get
They
paid.
did that
Totally to make sure.
totally to make sure y'all were covered in case anything happens.
Will, you talking about during the storm? You talking about during the storm?
Yes.
Okay, well, this, I worked that Friday night, and I went home without pay, I stayed here till Sunday morning, afternoon at 4 o'clock. I work from 12 o'clock Friday night to Saturday morning, and the rest of it was no pay, volunteer.
So my
So
point
that
is,
was, I was supposed to work that weekend, and I did, I stayed over that time, so we'd have cuts, along with the other 23 people.
thank you, I appreciate
You know,
it, thank all of you.
that was all
I appreciate
volunteer,
it.
I could have went home.
So, my
I
point,
don't care.
I'm gonna go back to my main point. My main point is, if the board would just provide transparency to the community, you could kill 90% of the rumors, probably, because they've got all the information. Listen, I didn't go through my timeline, but the more I asked for and the more I didn't get, the more suspicious I become.
Well,
And a lot of other people get that way too. Now, I'm not saying that some people don't think you still spend too much money, because some of them do think that.
I don't disagree with it. I'm sorry, I don't disagree with too much money being spent. I agree with it 100%, that too much money's been spent. We don't wanna sit here and wonder how we're gonna pay for something if it breaks. We don't like that.
we got a truck right now that's there.
Yes.
I know, I've been told.
But the thing
And
is,
that goes back to my thing about having 150,000 or so in the bank, so you can get stuff done. just like that.
absolutely, and I agree with that wholeheartedly, 100%.
And then you got the chief that does he does anything for a buck now.
But I can't
He-
do breaks and stuff like that, but minor stuff I can do.
I'm just saying, all I'm saying to you is a lot of this stuff could be handled by just publishing, put it out there.
Mr. Evans.
You know, put your proposed budget out there. Get it out. for people.
Willie, where do you publish it to make all this transparency?
Put it on, okay, so in my notes, put it on your Facebook page. If you don't have a website, set up a website, put it on there. Ken, I come here trying to get, so I walked in one fire department, I'll tell you, I walked in, I said, can I see a copy of your bylaws? Can I see a roster of your board members? Got it, 2 minutes, had it all, walked out in Lincoln County. I come here to ask for the same thing. I can't get a roster of the board members. I can't get a copy of the bylaws. I can't get any minutes to the board meetings, because when I was told that y'all didn't bring up my request, and I was told that it was never brought up, then that concerns me. That if I make an official request to this board and it's not brought up at the board meeting, then that's not good. And I won't make, sometimes, like, one of these firemen, let's say if one of them had no, I'm not gonna say, but if one of these firemen didn't like the way things were going, how could they come and complain?
Willie, can I clear up a rumor, please?
Yeah.
Okay, this is rumors you got, okay? Board of Directors members, did we not call, or did I not call for an emergency meeting to discuss what was going on the day after it happened?
Yes.
Yes.
Did y'all meet?
Yes.
Okay, it did happen.
Yep, very good.
It just wasn't in the last set of minutes because it wasn't at the last meeting.
And why didn't you release the information that I asked for? I'm just
There, okay, we have board minutes, okay?
Yeah.
I'm sure we could probably go and redact a lot of stuff. There's delicate information in a lot of the meetings as well. People's names, information, and stuff like that. Every one of them has it. And, a lot of this going back to the direction of Emergency Solutions, guy. We can get sued if we give the wrong information out as well. If anything about any of the board members or any of these firemen or any of those minutes,
You can get sued for not giving it out.
well, you can.
Yeah.
And this chapter 55 says it can go both ways.
Yep.
I don't disagree with that, okay? But when you have people that say, I've got information in those minutes and I don't want it released, okay? That's not me. That's the person that it's in there being talked about. And it's because of somebody's medical issue, okay? But outside of that, again, we try to abide by everything in this chapter 55. Now, you know what chapter 55 is. You know all about this stuff.
I've read everything.
Everything. You know all about it. And I know you do, and that's why I'm not sitting here just trying to throw this stuff on you, you know, I'm not trying to throw anything on anybody.
Let me
But-
tell you, let me share a few other things with you. In your contract with Lincoln County, if you're gonna sell a property or something over $20,000, 20 or 25, you've got to give them notice.
You do,
And I went to Lincoln County, they said they had no notice.
and Lincoln County came to me, we went over the last 4 years of the money went into that building. Everything was done by fundraisers or grants.
Right. I'm not here to badger you.
I get it.
I'm just
But
trying to make sure you.
But that
know.
information's gotta be put out there,
So-
you know what I mean?
So, you know, I got a copy of the contract that you have with Lincoln County. I got a
course.
copy of the contract with
Those
Gaston County.
contracts were public.
And they encourage you to release and be transparent to the taxpayer. So I just encourage you to do that and get the information out there for everybody.
And like I said, I told you a while ago, I take partial in the situation of jumping into, oh my God, he's gonna pay this much money for a building, this is gonna help out a lot, you know what I mean? I take partial into that, I do. But all you're seeing is 7 years worth of issues can be
Okay.
taken away.
Will, go ahead, you got the floor.
How many of y'all in here love Crouse Volunteer Fire Department? That is your community fire department. Without this man, without that man, the 25 of us that are standing up right now and some that's in this room, we wouldn't be here. This would be Howard's Creek Station 2. How many, or 3, excuse me, Howard's Creek Station 3, how many of y'all would like that? Then let this board,
Let me add to that though, and it would not have been Howard's Creek's fault. They were the ones that was gonna step in and do it,
Absolutely.
okay? This is nothing against Howard's Creek at
no,
all.
absolutely not.
It's not.
I'll have to answer that later. But without Chief Poovey, Deputy Chief Poovey, and this board, your firemen would not be here. There's over 150 years just in the leadership of experience in this fire department. Be thankful for it. We're blessed. There's departments that are very close to us that are not as blessed.
Can I say something about the board members?
That's all I have to say.
The chatter on Facebook, okay? We'll call it chatter, because that's basically what it was. There's a lot of knowledge out there because they seem to know more than we know. We're sitting in here. And you know, when it comes to, you see postings like that, that rubs me wrong. I've been in this community a long time, 64 years, if I make it to May 7th.
I've been in it 70 years.
And I love this community
70 years.
as much as anybody. Just like I mentioned a while ago, Willie Havner, I've worked for that man. And sometimes we gotta be good enough friends to disagree, right?
Excuse me, 30 seconds. I'm on Flow Max trying to pass the kidney stone.
But, you know, the things that I heard about the board were things like, well, they're committing fraud behind closed doors. Where's the proof?
Who said
Where's
that?
the proof? I screenshot it. I can get
So I
you
will tell
names.
you one thing I did. I policed our Facebook page. And if anybody made a comment, I welcomed that comment, told them I appreciated it. If anybody made a negative comment against any individual, you can look and see that I went back and told them that we wasn't making this personal.
And then you got comments, well, who are these people? Well, if you'll show up and do your community time, maybe we can have a meet and greet.
Jess, you wanna say something?
And,
I mean, I'm gonna direct this straight.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
And then we have somebody post, and I can tell you who it was if you want me to, said that maybe we should go back the way when our parents managed our money for us, helped us manage money. Guys, if you looked in here, I think all these are mature adults in here. That are not only, not are they only gonna make the best common sense, business sense, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be the best decision for this station, these people, this county. And here's what really got me. You talk about spending, overspending, not looking for deals. This man right here is researching all the time. Just bought 4 new nozzles and saved how much money, David?
$1,300.
And best nozzle we ever bought. You guys will appreciate that if you're ever on the end of that nozzle. You don't want your nozzle or hose to fail, right? So he's doing the right thing. He's not cheaping out. He's putting the best equipment in this building.
We had
And
the brush truck issue a couple weeks ago. Sorry, y'all, I'm getting dry. Brush truck issue a couple weeks ago. The pump went out on the back of the truck, which was built by Anchor Ritchie. I called them. They wanted $13,500 to fix that truck. That was ridiculous. But was able to get through the vendor that Anchor Ritchie uses and bought the pump directly from them, and was able to sit here in house and do it, and done it all for $6,300. We do try to save all we can when we can.
I've seen them work on their own equipment to save money. I've come in here on a board meeting, they'd be working on the equipment. But there's just so much, guys, that goes on behind the scenes that you'll never know. And as far as the community building, hey, those people that helped make that become reality for this community, Crouse, was character people, and I mean character people. Some of the best people you'll ever meet. Some of the best families are involved. You couldn't ask. That's not what we're questioning. But you know, they said, well, you can't cook chicken suppers in there to raise money. No, you can't do that with that building, but you can sell it, and that building's still working for all of us. And you still got your memories. Memories never fade. You always got your memories.
Don't do a private sale in the future.
So,
Don't do a private sale in the future. If you're gonna sell something, make sure you make the public aware of it.
well, Willie,
And don't.
it's
So,
And we pay the bills here, the citizens, the people that live in the district pay the bills.
and the grants and all the other monies,
What?
and all the other monies we get,
Okay,
grant monies,
can I,
whatever.
go ahead, and then she's got the floor after you.
Okay. So, Willie, you know, I've listened to you go around and around and around, and you keep talking about the bylaws and all this stuff that you had to go through to get all this information. And it sounds to me like all you really wanted that for was just to bash the board. I mean, that's what it really boils down to, and it's
I'm
all,
bashing
it's,
the-
hold on, I'm not done.
Okay.
It's all about the money. You got your answers on the money, right? So
No.
tell me, you didn't?
No.
Sounds to me like you did.
No.
It got explained to you what we were spending money on. Hold on, I'm not done. I'm not done. Out of all of that money that's been spent in this department, chief, how much of it hasn't been towards making our job more efficient, towards helping this community, towards making us safer? Let me ask you something. I want you to look at every single one of these firefighters up here, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I want you to tell me which one of these firefighters' lives is worth that couple of cents on the dollar. I want you to tell me which one of these citizens' homes is worth that couple of cents on the dollar. Tell me which one of these firefighters or which one of these citizens is worth more than that
what is your
community
name?
building. My name's David.
What?
My name is David
David what?
McElveen.
Okay. So, I haven't bashed any firemen.
I didn't say you bashed firemen, I said you bashed the board.
I called the board out
Okay?
because there's a lot of people upset. So, I haven't got the information I asked for. I still want that information. And I'm gonna still continue to push to get that information. And I think you ought to share all of that information with everybody in the community.
Okay, you wanted, you
And
said,
so
you
I-
said that there should be restrictions on the money that we spent. So obviously, you've got information on money that we're spending, so tell me what restrictions
I
we
said on
spent.
the sale of the community
No,
center.
no, you said the money that we spend up here, that there should be restrictions on it. You didn't narrow it down to the community building. You just, did he? All right, I apologize, I stand
Yes, he
corrected.
did.
I stand corrected.
That was about the building.
Okay, all right. I heard just money in general, but, okay, so tell me what restrictions? What equipment should we sacrifice?
I didn't try to
No,
define
what he
them.
was saying-
I just encouraged the board to put some restrictions on that money.
The money that's. come
And
from
we
the
always
building.
do. Seriously, anything that's spent, we vote on what can be spent. Okay, now,
fire department to know that we are not against any of you or any of the firemen or anybody on the board. We are all here tonight, and all these over people that you saw by Emily, we're all here tonight because we love it. That's you building, and we do not want it to be sold, and that's why we're all here. We're not to bash anybody because I think y'all do a fine job, and want you to know that we appreciate you, but we are concerned about our community building being sold.
The community building right this moment is really costing the fire department more money, and then for the fire department getting the benefit out of it. We add on up here, we're gonna add on more bathrooms, shower. We got 2 bathrooms, 1 man, 1 woman bathroom. We came back from a fire call today that we was out an hour and a half. Me, Keith, and several more had to wait in line to get into the bathroom. It'd be nice to be able to come back here and have a nice bathroom.
This fire department survived all these years with being making money and having things for kids and all. Why shouldn't it continue for the younger kids, like them grandyoungins back there?
Well,
I mean, it'd be a benefit to them, and there ain't gonna be no benefit to them when y'all sell it.
Well, and the fire department, the community building, the community didn't seem to want
Just,
it to
just,
start with. We need to let.
okay, come on up.
I just want to talk about the community, when it came over and was asked for the fire department to take over. During that meeting, you got the minutes there. There was a bill, passed bill, that this community bill was bringing so much money into it and taking care of. Why was the people that were taking care of the community building coming to the fire department before the fire department owned it for them to pay the bill? There's a bill that they had to pay $500 for the fire department for that community building before it came to the fire department. So if it was making so much money prior to the fire department getting it, why didn't the community, whoever had it in their name, keep it?
You're correct. The community building slowly over time made less and less money. Now, I don't know what $500 bill you're speaking of, but how it had always been in the past was money was paid out of the community building budget. David Hefner got several grants over the years, and that money was continued to be used to pay the community building's bills. The other thing that paid community building bills was income from rentals. But at that time, at one time, we only charged $25 to rent the building. We went up to $50 to rent the building. It didn't bring in that much money. And when a large bill came in, yes, the fire department was asked, because the fire department, when they were still doing monthly chicken suppers, used the building to cook the chickens, used the building to make their preparations for the chicken suppers, whether they had the chicken suppers, whether they actually sold their chickens here in the fire department or in the building. And that was how it had always been done.
I can't answer to any of that because I wasn't here.
I can, Mama was doing it.
And we still paid a lot of rent even if we didn't use it.
You paid the same rent that everybody else paid that rented it, but the fire department benefited more from their rent. In other words, you were making the money off of the chicken suppers. And all I can say is that's just how it had always been done. Yes, it did cost the fire department something, but when you were still doing monthly chicken suppers, you were making the income at that point that the community building had always made to be able to pay the bills and to pay for the fire department. That's where the fire department came from, is those monthly chicken suppers.
No, back in the 70s, we went out knocking on doors and begging for money.
Yeah, I
We didn't
remember
have
that.
this tax money that we got nowadays.
Yeah.
But the original building of the fire station, and you're right, people did have to go out and knock on
I did
doors.
myself, I was a member of that.
My mother has records in her file cabinet at her house. She and my dad are deceased now, but the records are still down there in their house, where my mother and Paul Ray, or y'all know him as Cigar Elmore, went around in the community, and Mama wrote down who gave how much money. And it wasn't $20 or $50. It was $2 or $3. But they went out.
Okay, see, this is the thing. You have those memories, right? Nobody can take that away from you.
No.
Nobody can take that away
I've
from you.
already said, if you're getting $250,000 for that building, and that's what the fire department needs, am I happy about it? Not really. But you have to be prudent and you have to make good decisions.
Right.
But a lot of these folks that are here are not gonna agree with me on that. And I'll be the first to admit, when I first heard you were selling the community building, you probably should have had a fire call because steam came out my ear. I was, as they proverbially say, I was mad as a wet setting.
Yeah, I think I talked to you that day.
You did? Well, no, that was a couple days later. I was calmer.
I was pretty close.
Hey,
Thank you for your
just a
commitment and in
comment
your.
on Debbie's comments about it making money, and I agree with her 100%. I had a lot of memories there. I cooked a lot of chickens.
Yeah.
3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Jess, you
But
have
let me
something?
tell you how the chatter, this is the last thing I'm gonna say about the budget, okay? Because the budget's a big item tonight. One of the things that I read on the Notorious Facebook page was, here's a way we can cut our budget, okay? And that way is to use the neighboring station's equipment and manpower. And if you used their stuff, you wouldn't have to have all the equipment in your bay, in your stations. My preference is to have everything we have that we're possibly gonna need on any call and not rely on the number 2 station. Cause at certain calls, you're automatically rolling mutual aid. But to rely on them solely and not have everything that we need here because you're worried about spending a couple extra dollars, it's bad business. Time is critical. Lives, there's nothing that should ever get less saving a life as far as equipment or being able to get there and have the manpower. And the roster shows they have the manpower.
We don't just run fire calls anymore, we run rescue.
Okay, get you after her. She's been waiting. Okay.
So, I'm gonna step up here, David.
You're gonna have to talk loud, because you're a mouse.
I know they can't hear me. So, I know some people said this wasn't, they weren't knocking the fire department. It wasn't about not supporting the fire department. But in the past couple days, the week that I've been reading these comments, because they're on a public forum, I see them too. I am a 100% volunteer here. I am not paid. I am the marketing girl in an office in Charlotte when I step out of this building. But as a firefighter and as a female firefighter, I have never been more discouraged to do what I do than I have this past week. I had one comment that I read that was phrased as a question that said, what is it, a couples retreat? 25% of our roster are female firefighters, and I can guarantee you that we are held to the exact same standards and the exact same training as any of the other men up here. Not only that, there is nothing in this station that anybody here has found that I can't do except reach the top compartment of an engine. There's also 3 comments that were made that honestly made me almost want to stop this. Because those 3 comments were, Crouse Fire Department hasn't cared about the community in a long time. Shame on the fire department. Nobody will ever give a dime or support the fire department again. In my time here, these guys, that's my family, okay? I come from not so great background. We train together, we work together, we eat, sleep, laugh, and cry together. We share achievements and hardships, and we will literally walk through the gates of hell trusting each other with our lives. We experience things that haunt all of us when we close our eyes. We witness things that people should never have to, and we do it because we care about this community. So the next time that someone feels the urge to make a comment about a firefighter sleeping outside, that bunk room doesn't have heat and air. I'm urging whoever wants to make that comment to please come over here to Chief, pick up an application, give 50 years of your life to save everybody else's, and then make your comment, because I promise you, it's going to go a lot different than you had planned. And whether or not you support us, we are still going to be the people that you see when your life, your family, and your home is in danger. So instead of choosing to have this petty argument over an old building and make false accusations, please take a few minutes to put it aside and try to understand why this board come to the decision it did.
I will, I'm gonna add to her statement, and I want everybody to know, this is coming from me. After tonight, when we all walk out this door, the level of professionalism and response and fire prevention and safety that you get from this fire department will not change. You're still gonna get 110%, whether you agree with us or you disagree with us. And that is how we always have to look at it. Nobody ever sees eye to eye all the time. Everybody has opinions, everybody has disagreements. But at the end of the day, we're here for you and y'all are here for us. You know? So nothing's gonna change after this meeting. You're still gonna get 110% from us. I just want all y'all to know that, okay?
Okay, Sheila?
Regarding the statement you made, Danny, about the relying on neighboring departments and then how equipment. I made that statement, and I mean, someone else may have as well. I made a statement regarding that situation. My point was, right now, knowing how little money is in the account, and that's the whole purpose for y'all wanting to sell the building, to get funds to continue buying things you need and everything else. Why spend the money on things right at the moment? Why not pay down the bills that you have and the debts that you have before you go expanding buildings and everything else?
If it's a decent save a life, you better bet we're gonna vote on it tonight.
Okay, I get that, and I understand it, and I appreciate it. But my point was, if the money's not there, don't spend it on something that you can borrow at the moment, regardless of response time for someone else.
Wait a minute, I'm gonna say something and I shouldn't, but, cause the president's gone. But you don't understand, we had so much coming on in the beginning of these guys coming on here, okay? Now, as far as saying that, the bank is not sitting at zero. No, we're close to, I'm just saying. So don't think we're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, because that's not happening. The money that has always been in savings is still there. It's not being touched, okay? When he came in, that money has not been touched. The board voted on it, it's not been touched.
Our savings are put in CDs with time limits.
Exactly. So it's not been touched, so go back and tell whoever that keeps saying that he's blowing all the money, you know, it's not there anymore, it's not on the papers, because the only people that got these papers, the budget, was the board members.
If you got so much knowledge of what's being spent, apparently transparency's already out there.
Exactly.
You're getting it somewhere.
You've got people that have knowledge. You have people that have knowledge going back telling it.
How do they know what was
Having
spent?
to go and go onto the internet and get a 990 is not transparency.
What about, to go back to the question that I have for you, Willie, a little while ago, and we said get back to it. All the tax money that each taxpayer pays in to the county, it seems like all we talk about is what comes here. What about all the other money? Where does it go? Where do we see that we benefit as a community of Crouse What do they do with the rest of our tax money?
That's a question for your county commission.
But that's what I'm saying though, it's always picked on about the fire department, always.
I don't agree with that.
I do. What percentage of that tax money came to this station?
All right, Randy, are you wanting to say something?
So,
or are you
so
just
let
standing
me
there?
address your comment though. If I go back 3 years ago and 4 years ago and look at the bank balance has dramatically dropped.
No doubt.
Dramatically. So please don't say it that way. Everything that I put in my comments were factual, and I pulled them off of your 990s. Now, I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. All I did was come to ask questions, and I asked my questions, and I didn't get my answers. So I had to go through other means to try to get answers. And I still don't have all my answers, but I got some of them.
Okay.
Well, let me give
Now,
you-
let me,
Everything's going up though,
Let me give
fuel
you
costs, you name it.
you asked David earlier how much he made as chief.
Yeah.
Ask him how many hours he's supposed to put in for that. Now, wait a minute,
Oh,
let me
yeah,
finish.
this is-
Then ask him how many hours he put in,
He
he don't
actually-
get paid one penny for it.
I appreciate everything that y'all do from a board standpoint, and I appreciate everything y'all do from a fire department standpoint. You sold a building, people's upset.
we
about
didn't
that.
sell it.
It's not
Them is
sold.
up and sold.
Well,
We were
told
gonna
me it's
sell.
Under contract to be sold.
It's not
That's
under
under
contract.
contract either.
It seems like. We heard,
Yeah, this like, okay, like say, this gentleman right here, he could speak up and say, hey, I wanna buy the property for, $275,000.
In my world, if you go sell a building and you say that you sold it, you have a contract because that leads.
Who told you we sold it?
We never said we sold it.
but
See, that's the thing, who gave you that info?
if something
That's
happens,
the-
this sale doesn't.
that's the key.
What are you saying about sold? What
Right
you
here.
saying?
He said
I
that
come
we
back to
already
you and you said,
sold
yeah,
It ain't
the
sold.
building.
Ask David when he called me on the phone, what he asked me when he called me that day.
Will you sell? No.
Like I said, I'm not gonna keep debating all of this. Everything that I put out was factual. I had facts, and I put it out. And yes, it got attention, but I wanted to get attention because I asked for information and never got any kind of follow-up response. And I heard you had a board meeting and nobody's even spoken to me about that. And it bothers me. You begin to think, if you go through my timeline, it begins to raise more and more questions because you're not being transparent.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How do you feel right this precise moment that, I'm gonna ask you this question, at this precise moment, knowing that this board of directors has come together to do fire department business, and we have nothing but what's been going on? We've taken care of no business at all.
I feel good about it because I wanted to let you hear the community speak. And that's what
How many spoke actually?
I don't know, 5.
Does anybody else want to say anything?
They didn't have to. I made it clear when I started that they designated me to get up and raise those questions.
They didn't have to speak.
But that wasn't the questions that you were asking. You were actually telling us. You were they're saying criticizing just like, no. How many times did you tell us how wrong that this, board did not use their bylaws? How many times have you said that? How many times did you point out how many board members were actually not supposed to be here?
No, I didn't say that. What I said is that.
Out of district.
Is that your bylaws are not correct. They need a lot of work. They've got improvements to be made. Secondly, I said I didn't like people that's living outside of the fire district, not paying taxes, voting to give me a tax increase. I still don't like it, and I'm still gonna complain about it.
Well, that's fine, but let me be the one to.
I don't like it either.
Yeah.
Let me be the one to tell you this. If me being a secretary because I'm his mother persuades you that I'm gonna do something underhanded and shady, I'm just telling you, would do something underhanded and shady, You're very wrong. You can ask anybody on this board or the firemen.
Suggested to the board that they look into putting some nepotism rules into your bylaws. That's all I said about that.
But that's why I keep saying you're giving us what we need to be doing.
Can I ask a question? I'm making suggestions as a taxpayer. Can I ask a question?
See, you just shut our chief down.
No, that's fine, he can finish what he said. My question is, can we get back to what my idea of this meeting was gonna be tonight and address what questions and concerns they had? Not just one person.
Quick thing before that. You say you don't like the board members who are out of district and making decisions, right?
No, not decisions.
Based on the bylaws.
Voting on tax increases.
Do you like the members who are out of district and protecting your district and running into the burning buildings that live outside of the fire district?
So on your roster.
And who does not live in this fire district and actually serve here?
Yeah, so y'all are very dependent. On your roster, you got about 50 people on your roster.
Yep.
38 of them live outside of the district.
Absolutely.
And if we didn't have y'all, we couldn't have a fire department.
Absolutely.
So,
Do you know
so,
why?
so that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. I'm saying as a taxpayer, I wouldn't want somebody from Mecklenburg County coming in here and voting to give me a tax increase.
But do you know why you have so many people out of district coming in to actually serve here? It's that man right there.
I'm not debating that. I'm not, listen.
That chief right there, he's gonna run into the building.
I said that I felt like that y'all were doing a good job on your costs. So I don't debate that at all. I appreciate everything y'all do. But I've got issues. And my issues that I still have, I'll come back and I'll address those issues again with y'all. Because I'm not satisfied until there's some adjustments made about a few of the things that's in our bylaws.
I got a question. Why don't you
And if the board doesn't.
become a board member, then you'll have your say.
Well,
And we wouldn't have to.
He was a board member, he didn't come to
So
me.
you can disagree with me and not vote in favor of what I recommended, but I was just making recommendations that I thought.
I don't know you. I'm one of the firefighters and board members that live outside of the district.
Yeah, and thank you for being here, I appreciate it.
Well, that's just
But-
like you asked me, okay?
What?
I said, you guys asked me where I live.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, it was voted over the board meeting, I was gonna quit and go to Northbrook.
Yeah,
And I would have.
right,
But they asked me in the station, no, you never give me no trouble, you're a good firefighter.
Right.
Good certified firefighter.
right.
You know, and that was fine with me. I was gonna quit being another guy who moved out of the district. Now, we would have quit, but let me finish. We was asked to stay here because we were good firefighters and never been in trouble. That's the reason we were on the board. And that's the reason we're here now.
I appreciate it.
I mean, I don't take it that way.
I appreciate you.
Hey, well,
You come and ask me where
really
I've been.
listen, well, why are you making it sound like you're bashing me?
Not bashing.
Okay.
I didn't say you were.
Ron,
I
you
said
got something to say?
You're turning it to make it sound like that.
Hey, what?
We need board members, well, look.
So, as I was gonna ask.
One month.
When they came, there was a shower in that bathroom. All it needed was to be plumbed in. Is all it needed.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. But aren't you the one that said you didn't want Crouse to come to your house, and if you was done, let you go?
And I got a question, why is that? Why don't you want Crouse to come to your house?
Because he didn't get his way during, when he addressed the board of directors. That's why.
Look, I get all happy about the community building, I did. It's also Crouse training, so that's where we keep our gear. You see my gear, right? Everyone sees it. I'm an interior firefighter, I go interior. If you got this community building, what help we can do here?
How many of you want to put these gloves on?
How many of you wanna get in this gear? You want, everyone here as firefighters, put this gear on and go into your house. How are we gonna do that if we don't have gear for it? You want us just to go in there like this? Possibly kill ourselves, save your guys' home?
Okay.
And I'm an interior firefighter. I go inside. I want to make sure that my gear is gonna keep me safe when I go in. And getting out of this community building, you're gonna have to get new gear. Because all it is just a money pit. We put more money into it than we are getting out. And I get it. Y'all ain't happy about it. But at the same time, you gotta think about the firefighter. For my gear. Keeps me safe. Could possibly save your guys' life one day. I need gear that's gonna protect my life and protect yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And I've got one statement. I'm one of the board members, and this is my outlook on this, is to protect this board and more than most importantly, protect these people right here. And if it makes somebody in the community mad, I'm sorry. But I've been in this since 1979. These guys right here are the future. Protect them.
I know something else to go on, which I know you need to finish everything on already. The apparatus, the chief drive. People want to complain that they shouldn't have got that $60,000. You already went over what actually was spent on it to get it. But if you go look in the back of that truck, that is another apparatus. He's got education tools. He's got all the medical equipment to go on any type of medical call. He's also got water cans, fire extinguishers. All of that is in the back of that. So you think that could have gotten that little Equinox? So now he is completely prepared where the medical call comes out straight there. I can't tell you how many times he has took the water can and the fire extinguisher and been first on the scene before anybody else goes. It's smaller than these big trucks, so it's going to get there quicker. And he's able to put out a drawer fire that could across somebody's house, had to hunt it down inside their drawer was on fire. But there's been other times that because of that truck, that he's able to help people. He was able to help, I can't say, but another person had cardiac arrest. He had to put on it to bring that man back to life.
That's kind of where the idea of more transparency, because David said just a little bit ago that the truck didn't cost that much.
No, I don't say
But the rumor was out there.
Yeah.
And if you don't dispel the rumor with transparent information, the rumor grows. That's the point.
The rumor amount was correct in the beginning.
But you got discounts.
Correct.
And
It got knockdowns and trade-ins and all, so the rumor amount is correct. It's all the rest of the information that has to go along with it that makes a difference.
Yeah.
And see, y'all as a community should feel like you can go to that door. If you don't have the code, ring the doorbell. Somebody will come and answer the door.
Willie did that, and he didn't, and asked questions, and he didn't get answered.
Maybe if you were doing something like in here, because you kind of rubbed me the wrong way too. So, I'm just being honest.
Well, hey, I hope I did.
But the whole thing of it is you're not the CEO of this payroll.
I'm gonna say one thing, I appreciate everybody coming to meeting tonight, and I think us 20 people here, we got a number out here that showed what they think of what's going on, and I think you ought to think about what they feel like. Well, I mean, there's 20 of us and probably 100 out there.
But the whole thing,
Comments about how they feel.
yeah.
I mean,
Maybe you're
they
the
wouldn't
one
have
that's,
showed up.
I know, but you're the one that's more upset. Now, this lady right here is family, and she's saying if you can get $250,000, sell it. Do I like it? No.
I don't like when I
Okay.
walk in, David want me to vote on the budget, they said I sold the community building, you need to vote.
He did not say he sold it.
Is that what you said in that room right there, David?
Do what now?
When you called me and you said I need to vote on the phone, what'd you tell me?
No, I didn't call you.
He called
Who called me?
I ain't allowed to
I
call you.
called.
You called and said I need to vote, and I said I'm in the car. I pulled in, walked in the room, and you said I need to vote on the tax increase. Is that not what you said?
It wasn't, I can't say that. It was Daddy that did all that. Daddy called you, had you come up
Who did
here
I
and
come in
all
here and talk to in the room, David?
Me?
No, it's David.
No, it was me.
I said I voted.
Chucky, you refer to yourself as them and them. You're a board member, Chucky. You're one of us.
Okay,
Y'all have anything else?
tell them who your name is.
Hi, my name's Allison Mikowski. I've been here since I was 14. Now, David Poovey here, Mom was in a house fire. He took and risked his life to save Mom. And that hurts me. Now, Mom was one died because of smoke. If he would have went in there and risked his life, his gear's burnt up. If you can go look at his old gear, you can see right through it. Do you want us to go in these house fires and like my Uncle Vaughn was about 500 plus pounds, maybe more. Granted that, he went in there blindly, didn't know how much he weighed, didn't know what he looked like. All he knew was he was on the bed. He went in there, risked his life, got him to a window so they could cut the window out to where they could actually get him out. Now, I'm only 18. I'll tell you that right now. And I'm gonna do the same thing he's doing for the community and anything else I can do. I have heart issues. I had open heart surgery at a week old. And I'm willing to risk my life for others, and I just hope y'all can give us some respect, because after hearing the crap I've heard tonight, I feel like I can't do this anymore. Y'all are discouraging me. And the ones that are commenting on Facebook, you're going on Facebook saying that we're sleeping, we're outside smoking. Most of us are coming back to this station after risking our lives, after trying to fight to save somebody else's life. We're tired, we're gonna be wore out. Sometimes we need at least 5 to 10 minutes to rest. I don't know who made that comment, but that hurt me deeply because I was one of those people that was asleep. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you for your passion.
Okay.
I got something. Y'all got any questions?
Okay, dear.
I was a member here at one time,
Yes.
and all y'all guys standing back there, what you around
Cause you own
here? And Danny right there, running off of this laid off cost of it.
Mm.
But fire department stuff is not for me. I don't wanna do that kind of stuff. Guys, I appreciate everything y'all do. Everything. And cut through Crouse at Christmas, there's stuff on the poles. July, they got flags up. They've done a lot around here. I pulled in here, get air and car. And I always took the water to these guys. I appreciate what they do. But it hurts me too if the community building is going to be sold. But I need fire department, I need y'all more than I need that community building.
Thank you. Thank you.
Balance ain't good no more. 10 years ago, I flipped them tables over for y'all stand. I can't do it no more. But I need y'all more, I need that community building. But I can understand, when all these people was in here, I could turn around and look. There's a lot of people I partied with down at that building.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Motorcycles run through that building.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, my mom and daddy fuss for that.
like Nick said, $25. But to get anybody to rent that time, you're gonna have to go to it.
Yeah.
Handicap bathrooms,
Yeah, that's just,
new kitchen, sun guns in the walls outside.
and HVAC, you know, you gotta have heating and air.
It has to be put into that. that thing.
Yeah.
But the fire department needs stuff too.
That's right.
But if y'all sell it, I still love y'all.
Like I said, the
And I'm gonna
memories
be
cannot
back
be
here
taken
coming
away.
here tonight. I ain't seen them in a long time.
Yeah. And it was good to see a lot of those people, wasn't it? But you got memories with them.
But I appreciate what y'all do, and all these people back here, some of them I remember when I was just that tall.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes the way it seems, and I know it's not always, things not always as they seem, right? It seems like every time we have to have a meeting like this, it's about somebody that's got bashed.
Yeah.
Sometimes these guys, all these firefighters, men and women, they risk a lot every day. They don't know what they're gonna face minute to minute. And the board up here tries to do the best we can. You know, a lot of us rush home from work and still work to get here and be here when needed. We can be called in any minute to have an emergency board meeting. We make ourselves available. But sometimes it just, has the community ever thought about doing something to show the appreciation for those guys, these men and women that go to battle for us? I mean, you know, that'd be a totally different kind, and that might change morale and make them more open to the transparency that we speak of. I mean, there's several ways, and you know, I participated at the community building. Been here a long time. I think Willie's in here right now. Him and Biscuit and Tick's about the only ones been here longer than I have. But you know, it's meant a lot to us too. But it's not like it's not going to be able to benefit the department, the community, by the sale of that building. And maybe Willie's correct. Maybe, yeah, we need to watch how we spend those dollars. But I think at the end of the day, we'll all benefit from it. And we're never going to lose those memories. It's up to you if you let those memories fade. But, you know, like I say, there are a lot of good memories down there. I can't say anything about anybody that's been here tonight. I appreciate the comments. And like I told Willie, Willie's family has meant a lot to our family for years. And we love them all. And I'm going to support these guys, the board, and the firefighters.
Y'all knew all the tricks I played on Danny's daddy.
I can tell you some things on Willie, but that's for a different meeting.
I was one of the ones that threw paper airplanes.
We never even had that document. You said I turned that road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when you got voted in.
That's
You walked
right.
out, you come back.
Okay, guys,
I've got something I want to say.
James wants to say something, please.
Okay, so I'm James Bowers. Again, I introduced myself at the beginning of the meeting. I was the secretary of the board prior to this young lady here taking over a year or so ago. And I was in that role for, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, 3.
And David, I think you got a copy of most of the minutes, a lot of the minutes that I typed up. The reason I want to say this, that we will reflect on this meeting 6 months, a year from now, and we'll say, you know, that was a good opportunity for everybody to kind of vent some things that they had on their mind. And I've been in hundreds of meetings similar to this in my years, and I'll tell you, it's one of those things that if I've heard us say this tonight, that we love each other. Wrap your head around that for a minute, okay? Because I think tomorrow we're going to love each other too.
Yeah.
Okay? Can we do better? Absolutely. Each one of us can. Have we made mistakes? Every one of us has made mistakes. And we will tomorrow and the next day and the next. What I'm getting at is, if you want to be part of the solution, come and be part of the solution. Okay? Yeah, all of us have got problems. We should probably make a list. Each one of us could make a list of problems we got. But we need your help. And I'll be honest with you, there was more people that showed up tonight than showed up at any annual board meeting that I remember attending in my 4 or 5 years here. There's more people here tonight because of a community building and because of some words and rumors and first one thing that got out that may or may not have been true. But if you gotta have answers, come and be part of the solution. We need your help. The community building, it's a blessing that's what brought us together tonight. The community, okay? We need to recognize the people that have come together to have a discussion about this building. Whether it gets sold or it doesn't get sold, it's not what is the answer. It's how's the community surviving this? Is the community going to be the Crouse community that it has been back when these memories were put together? Because there will be more memories made, and we will look back and say, hey, that meeting we had out there in April in 2026, that helped make this community stronger. David, I appreciate you, and I certainly appreciate all the people that attended, and particularly these firefighters that attended tonight. But I'm on the board, but here's the secretary. I'll help her put together the minutes of this discussion tonight as best as we can. But I just want everybody to know, I appreciate you being here. I think we can look back on this meeting and someday in the future and say, that was a good meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You gonna say?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Any opposed? Like sign? Let's bow for a moment of prayer. Heavenly Father, we just celebrate this opportunity that we've had tonight to come together as friends, neighbors, co-workers, family. We just ask that you'd watch over us, lead, guide, and direct us, protect us on our way home, protect us tomorrow, and we ask a special blessing on these firefighters that have been with us tonight and those that'll be here day and night from now into the future. We ask that you'd watch over them, lead, guide, and direct them in all that they do. And we ask that you'd be with us now and forever. In thy name we pray. Amen.
I will ask one thing, Debbie, if you've got 5 minutes or so,
Ken.
walk around this station, look at what we've got. Look at some of the stuff, how we operate here. You haven't been here a while, but maybe, hey,